Hello, I'm George, and welcome to IELTS 100. In this lesson on the writing of IELTS, I'm going to teach you how to make compound sentences correctly in order to help you meet and hopefully exceed the first descriptor under grammatical range and accuracy for the band score of 7 for both task 1 and task 2. To achieve the band score of 7, candidates need to use a variety of complex structures. Please note, if you're not using compound sentences correctly and sufficiently, you may not meet this descriptor for a band score of 7 in the area of grammatical range and accuracy. So, without further ado, let's get started. First, what is the meaning of the word compound? A compound is a thing that is composed of two or more separate parts. So, a compound sentence is made up of two or more sentences or independent clauses. An independent clause is a group of words that can stand alone as a complete sentence. For example, smoking among teenagers is on the rise is an independent clause. If you add a period after an independent clause, you have created a simple sentence. Smoking among teenagers is on the rise, period. Before I go back to the idea of compound sentences, let me also tell you that not all clauses are independent. Some clauses are dependent clauses, so you cannot add a period at the end to make a simple sentence. If you add a period after a dependent clause, by mistake, you have created a mistake called a fragment, a mistake that I discussed in video lesson 2. Now, let's get back to compound sentences. A compound sentence, as I said earlier, consists of two or more independent clauses. There are 3 ways to make a compound sentence. You can use a semicolon, FANBOYS, and conjunctive adverbs. First, semicolons. You can simply join 2 independent clauses together with a semicolon. Smoking is harmful to one's health, semicolon. It can cause many diseases such as asthma and cancer. Please note that you cannot use a comma instead of the semicolon. If you do so, you have created a serious mistake called a comma splice, which I discussed in video lesson 1. Also, please note that you must not use semicolons too often. Since semicolons do not clearly show the relationship between the 2 sentences, you can only use them when you are sure the sentences are very closely and clearly related. Second, FANBOYS. The acronym FANBOYS stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. These words are called coordinating conjunctions. Please note that when you make a compound sentence, you put 2 or more independent clauses together. Each independent clause contains one main idea. So, when you join 2 independent clauses together with a semicolon, a coordinating conjunction, or a conjunctive adverb, you have created a compound sentence that has 2 main ideas. That's why making a compound sentence that consists of more than 2 independent clauses is not recommended. A compound sentence with too many independent clauses is a stringy sentence, which I discussed in video lesson 1. A stringy sentence is a sentence with too many main ideas, and therefore it is very difficult to understand. Now, here is an example of a compound sentence with a coordinating conjunction, or FANBOYS. The government has spent millions of dollars to discourage the young people from smoking. Yet, the rate of smoking among teenagers is still on the rise. This is a compound sentence, and because it consists of two independent clauses, it has two main ideas. Later, in core video lessons on coherence and cohesion, you will learn when to and when not to use compound sentences. Please note that you always need to use a comma before FANBOYS. However, please remember, if you're using the FANBOYS to connect two nouns or two phrases and not independent clauses, you must not use a comma. See this example. The government is spending millions of dollars to prevent smoking and promote exercising among teenagers. As you can see, there's no comma before and in this sentence. The final point about FANBOYS is what they mean and how you can use them. Here's an example for each one of the FANBOYS in exactly the same order. Please stop and read each sentence several times. Here's an example for the coordinating conjunction for. Some provinces are planning to decriminalize possession of small amounts of narcotics, for the war on drugs has failed to yield positive results. Please note that for as a coordinating conjunction means because. This is an example for and. Drug dealers are lacing drugs with fentanyl for more profits, and drug users are unaware of the dangers of fentanyl-laced drugs. This is an example for nor. Criminalizing drugs has not solved the problem of drug addiction, nor has it decreased drug-related crime. Please note, the clause that follows nor must be written in question word order. This is an example for but. Many health authorities have declared the drug overdose epidemic a public health emergency, but they have failed to allocate the necessary resources to address the crisis. This is an example for or. The government has to take serious measures to save lives, or the rate of drug overdose death will hit new highs. This is an example for yet. The government has set up safe injection sites, yet many drug users avoid these sites for fear of being stigmatized. Please note, the clause that follows yet in a compound sentence has an element of surprise in it. This is an example for so. The rate of drug overdose death is on the rise, so the government has decided to provide free naloxone kits at pharmacies. Third, conjunctive adverbs. You can also use conjunctive adverbs to make compound sentences. Conjunctive adverbs, just like FANBOYS, can help you create a compound sentence. But they are more varied and, of course, sound more formal than FANBOYS. All conjunctive adverbs can be used between the two independent clauses. In this case, you always need a semicolon before and a comma after the conjunctive adverbs. If you leave out the correct punctuation, you have made a run-on sentence, a common mistake that I discussed in video lesson 1. Let me give you an example. The main source of misinformation and disinformation is social media, semicolon. Nevertheless, Many people still read their news on their social media feeds. In this compound sentence, nevertheless is used to join two independent clauses. Please note the semicolon before and the comma after the conjunctive adverb. There are many conjunctive adverbs in English. Based on their meanings, these conjunctive adverbs can be classified into different categories. I will introduce the main 7 categories in this lesson. The first category includes however, nevertheless, and nonetheless. These conjunctive adverbs are used to show a surprising contrast between the two ideas in the two clauses. See the sentence I read earlier again. The main source of misinformation and disinformation is social media. Semicolon. Nevertheless, comma, many people still read their news on their social media feeds. It is in fact surprising that despite the incorrect information on social media, people still trust the social media platforms for their daily news. The second category of conjunctive adverbs consists of therefore, as a result, hence, consequently, and as a consequence. These conjunctive adverbs show the result of the previous idea. There is a clear link between social media use and depression among teenagers. Semicolon. As a result, comma, parents need to limit their children's use of social media platforms. The third category consists mainly of on the other hand and in contrast. These two conjunctive adverbs show clear contrasts between two ideas. Reading online results in lower understanding and less critical reflection. Semicolon. In contrast, comma, reading in print can increase concentration and critical thinking. The fourth category of conjunctive adverbs consists of also, besides, furthermore, moreover, and in addition. These conjunctive adverbs are used to add a similar idea to the previous idea. Reading in print can increase concentration, semicolon. Besides, comma, it can promote critical thinking. The fifth category of conjunctive adverbs includes for example and for instance. These conjunctive adverbs are used to provide an example for the previous idea. Social media users report a higher rate of depressive tendencies, semicolon. For instance, comma, young Instagram users are twice as likely to develop depression. The sixth category includes in fact and indeed. These conjunctive adverbs are used to provide more details about the previous idea. Instagram users are more likely to develop depression, semicolon. In fact, comma, 63% of Instagram users have reported feeling miserable or having depressive tendencies. In other words is the main conjunctive adverb of the seventh and the last category. This conjunctive adverb is used to rephrase the previous idea in a more clear way. Most social media companies do not fact-check the information shared on their platforms, semicolon. In other words, comma, they allow misinformation and disinformation to spread easily among users. There are, of course, other conjunctive adverbs. However, what I have introduced in this lesson is more than enough for a Banda score of 7. This is the end of Lesson 4 on grammatical range and accuracy. In my next lesson, I will teach you how to make complex sentences. In the meantime, make sure to subscribe to my channel for the most recent video lessons.